Once again, did I forget to put myself in the stream? You bet your bottom dollar I did. Wow. And I was so proud of myself for being like on the ball for all the other things. I'm like, oh, I'm gradually fading out the music. No, freaking forgot to put myself in the live stream. And that is how the day is starting. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to an afternoon edition of Wellness Wednesday, where we're getting together for a free coaching hour. But this week, we're getting together for nonsense and fun. If y'all provide some nonsense and fun for me to engage with, that is. I turned 37 years old yesterday. And so I figured this would be my little birthday celebration. If it wasn't packed, I'd wear my little glitter sweater, but instead we're in my comfort clothes. We are in my coffee sweatshirt because it is my favorite sweatshirt. Thank you so much for being here today at this time. I completely forgot to put in the description box a link to my Google Calendar. I was going to say, if you follow my public Google Calendar, it'll help you keep track of when the live streams are going to be. But to answer a frequently asked question already, I have not and will not be permanently switching my time to 3 p.m. Central Time. 3 p.m. is just turning into my fallback time if, for whatever reason, 7 p.m. on a Wednesday does not work out for me. I figured this is a lot easier than canceling it or things of that nature, with the exception being if I just can't do it at all on a Wednesday, there won't be anything. But I figured it was a lot easier to just kind of bump it into the middle of the workday than to just cancel it. So this is my fallback time. So on times when I'm either on worship team for the week or like today, I need to be free tonight. So here we are. Thank you so much for joining me. And Andy comes in with the first comment of the day. Hello, Andy. Lissa is using some new here. Now you can see what I see. And although interestingly, so I'm on, oh, I see what happened. I'm trying to multitask here, you guys, and it's just not working very well. I have YouTube running as well because I was checking on like what's the comment delay? What's the delay of whatever the case may be? And my video ended up being put on a big delay. So whatever, it's fine. Anyway, you can see what I see now with the new emojis. See the words buffering. Donna's here. Hello, Donna. Hello. I love that everyone checks in with everybody. It just makes me so mini steppering through the. Oh, thank you, Lissa. Cake. How did I know? I didn't even have to look at it to know it was going to be the cake. Thank you for that. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I'm a baby. I know I'm a baby, but also I'm not a baby. I have members of our small group that are 25 years old. They're literally more than a decade younger than me. So I am not the baby. I am pretty comfortably the middle child right now. Exactly. An embryo. There we go. I saw the embryo comment come in and I was like, what is that about? All right, my friends. So as per usual, first grab your water. Hydrate. You're welcome. Your body will thank you. Let's share our highs and our lows for the week because I enjoy celebrating you and finding out more about you and about how you're doing. And I will, of course, share mine as well. So, for if anybody that is new, this is where you share the highlight of your past week, the low point of your past week. Of course, at your discretion, you don't have to share, but I love it when you guys do share. And then we're throwing in wellness wins, as well as what we're working on in our wellness journey right now. And I will make it very simple and go first. It's a super chat. Lissa gave me a $1.49 super chat sticker. Your oldest is 36 and still until July. Yeah. So, I don't know what else it would have been, Lissa. I don't know. But my high is, of course, that, well, actually, I have two highs. I turned 37 yesterday. So the good Lord blessed me with another year on this earth. Happy, happy day to me. And we had our choir concerts this weekend. That choir that I have been in and been really, really enjoying and having a great time. We had our concerts. We had 3 concerts last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and they were a blast. It was so much fun making amazing music with all of these ladies. We merged with a men's choir, sold out concerts every night. It was awesome. And now for my low. Yesterday, on my birthday, I saw a Facebook post from the in the choir group that we have saying that 12 people have tested positive for COVID. And as the day progressed, and like by the time I got down and saw that, I had already gone to the dentist in the morning, went and got my Starbucks, and I sat down to go to enjoy my Starbucks in at my house. And I saw that like 6 or 7 comments had already rolled in underneath the comment about the 12 people saying, "Me too, add me to this list. Yep, I'm another one. Here's my, oh my goodness." And so I immediately got back up, went to Target, and decided to go get a COVID test. And thankfully, it's negative for now. For now. So we're supposed to leave for travel tomorrow. We have tickets to a show on Friday. And I'm sitting here wondering whether or not I actually do have COVID. And I'm currently asymptomatic. I've had a couple of symptoms come and go so mildly that, like, that's normally what I experience in my life. Muscle aches, a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of nasal congestion that comes and goes. I keep spraying sprays up my nose because that's what I do every single day. And every time I spray up my nose, my sinuses get a little bit, stuffy and nasally for a little bit while things are working their magic. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, and like, at first, the first comments that were coming in were people on the other side from me, far, far away. And then emails started rolling in, telling everybody to go get tested. Let's be good stewards of public health. Like, they approach things the right way, for sure. And then people were replying to the email with, "I tested positive today. I tested positive today." And then I got an email, a personal email from a woman that I did one of the songs with right next to. And then I got an email from the woman who stood next to me the entire concert saying that she is also positive. And she came with a mask on Saturday for our concert. And so I'm sitting here, I look at my husband, I'm like, how do I not get this? Like, I don't, I will be shocked if I do not contract COVID. Literally just shocked. I feel like there's almost a 0% chance that I don't get it, but we'll see. So that's my low. That's my low. Not because I'm afraid of COVID or anything. I actually had plans just to go get the most recent vaccination when we got to Florida, and I was like, well, one way or another, I'm getting a fresh dose of antibodies. And Lindsay, hi. It's so good to see you. So there's that. Super fun. Not even a little. So my high caused my low, which is kind of a bummer, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. I'm going to take a test either tonight or tomorrow and to test again and determine whether or not, then we'll figure out what happens going forward. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. My wellness win is I've been prioritizing sleep, and oh my goodness, it feels so good. And also, I am going to peg this as a wellness win, but taking the time to invest in the electric blankets on the lower level of my house, the upper level of my house, and in our bedroom my husband and I both love it. He's like, why didn't we do this years ago? And I was like, I don't know why. I don't know why. But I'm calling that a wellness win because it makes my heart happy for one, but like it feels so good to be so cozy. And as winter progresses, we'll see what that how much more help that does for me. Although I've heard rumor and I don't know what it means. I mean, I know what it's supposed to mean, but I don't know what Mother Nature is going to end up doing. But I heard rumor of our buddy El Nino, who's keeping the oceans nice and warm. And in an El Nino such as this, it could potentially mean less cold and less snow in the Midwest. I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope. And my working on it is trying not to anxiety myself into oblivion. That's what my between travel and do I or don't I have COVID, it's just a little ball of anxiety here. Another wellness win is I have an entire cake in my house and I have not lost control over the cake for a single second. It's lovely. Let's see. Oh my gosh, first I have to address this. Andy, last year, was it last year or the year before? My sister thought it would be funny to actually put the number of candles on my dad's cake. And the picture literally looked like this cake was just up in flames. It was hysterical. And my dad was loving it. The look on his face as this cake was on fire in front of him. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. I had my first Thanksgiving dinner last week. That's a great high. I love that. Low, still struggling with some anxiety stuff. It's all downhill from here. Optimism, my friends. Optimism. Struggling with cognitive issues and depression because of it. That's a bummer of a low. Did you have a high, Donna? No. Not that I saw yet. Win. I decided to try bringing the Apple Watch back and took it off because it's not working for me anymore. That's great. That's great. And that's exactly what I told you. So put it back on. See how it feels. If it's really calling to you and you figured it out. You were like, actually, no. The decision I made was the right decision. And that is powerful. That is really powerful for you to be able to confirm and to validate to yourself that it was the right choice for you. So that's amazing. That's awesome. My scale is heading in the direction. I'm assuming it's heading in the right direction. Having a lot of back pain, or maybe the wrong direction. It's heading in the direction. So I need to start paying attention to my hunger. Last night I did, and the scale was happier this morning. And Lori, don't expect immediate gratification from the scale. The scale is not an immediate gratification tool. If you're using it for immediate gratification, you are using it wrong. You are using it wrong. If you are weighing yourself every day and you are taking that data into consideration, it is not to determine whether or not you made good choices or bad choices the day before. That is not what we use the number on the scale for. It is simply a data point to give us information about how our body may or may not be reacting to things that happened. So you don't get a gold star for making the scale go down one day. You don't get a gold star for that. It's consistency over time, because what we're not after is changing our weight. What we're after is changing our fat content. And I was reading a really interesting book and I'm still reading this interesting book, but I want to tell you all about it because specifically for the older generation here that is talking about health and weight loss and things like that, here's what I'm going to encourage you to do, because at a certain point, it gets to be less about what does the number on the scale say and more about how can I be strong and functional and independent and healthy for as long as humanly possible. And Lori, I love you, but I want to put you in that second category. Worry less about the scale, worry more about getting some muscle put on that body, because that's what's going to help serve you. And in the meantime, it might make the scale go up a little bit. And that's not a reason to panic, because if you're gaining muscle, if you're working out and gaining strength, it's going to serve you so much more valuably than losing 5 pounds on the scale would. I saw a post just the other day that I actually went back to my Instagram stories to listen to when I had COVID. And because I wanted to understand what my progression was from the day I knew I was exposed through my sickness. So I went back and watched the entire series because I chronicled it on Instagram. And among those posts was also me sharing someone else's post that said something along the lines of, if every time we tried to lose 5 pounds, we instead tried to gain 5 pounds of muscle, our bodies and our lives would be completely different. And I 110% agree with that. Do you know the amount of effort that it takes to put on that much muscle on your body? 5 pounds. 5 pounds. But do you know the body composition change? Do you know the health change? Do you know the stamina change and the strength change that would occur in your body? And yeah, you might even tighten up a little bit and lose what you perceive to be a desired amount of weight when it really has nothing to do with the weight at all. But if instead of trying to make the number go down 5 pounds, if you tried to add 5 pounds of muscle, your life would change every single time, including helping out with things like back pain. My working on is then in finding out a new way to do virtual races without necessarily wearing an activity tracker or using an app beyond maybe a stopwatch. Could you use and I know it would take some self-control, but instead of using like paying any attention to your steps when you're going for a walk, could you just put your Apple Watch on and use like walk map my walk or something that will just tell you how far you've gone, because then you can log your workouts in terms of miles, which is what I do for the virtual races. Happy belated birthday. My girls had their birthday Sunday and it was a couple of big ones. 10 and 13. Is it the youngest that turned 10? It's not the baby that turned 10, is it? Oh my goodness. Happy birthday to your girls. And 13. You have a teenager. Oh my goodness. I had Doritos today, just a handful. Bought mini cinnamon raisin bagels. Tasted one just okay. Would have binged on them years ago. Put them in the freezer. Nice. Excellent. I still need to get my booster and my flu shot. I know. I can't believe. So I was going to get it right before the concert. And then like the week of the concert, I'm like, that would be dumb, because if I got it on Tuesday and for some reason it did knock me out, I wouldn't feel good for the day of the concert. So I'm like, I'll go ahead and get it when I go to Florida. Like, no big deal. Joke's on me. Joke's on me. Yeah, that's what I love about this group, right? That's what I love about this group. It's like they handled everything so well. So well. We were encouraged. If we so much as had a cough or a tickle or a sniffle, if we did decide to come to rehearsal, we were to mask up and we were to sit in the back and not in our normal seats, so we didn't expose anybody to whatever illness it was we had. We had one individual who was masked every rehearsal every single time and all of the performances. And then when performances rolled around, they brought black masks and they said, if you feel at all under the weather, wear a mask. Here are black ones so it matches our ensemble. I was like, man, it is so nice to and then we get the email when all of this is happening. Please, everybody go get tested. And I was just like, I love these people. These are good ladies. These are good ladies. Having an app judge my activity levels and serving me. Absolutely not. Hello, Kim. It is good to see you. Andy had a win yesterday. One of my carers passed me my bow and I set it up. I showed her me setting the compound bow up in front of her, pulling the strings and pass the bow over the first carer. Oh, that's cool. So who could not pull the string 1 inch. Oh, so you got to be strong. You got to be strong with your bow. That's awesome, Andy. That is a big win. Good for you. I'm not brave enough to attend indoor events. If it was a performance I was watching, I would have no way of finding out if COVID was going around. Oh yeah, and we didn't know until it was too late. We didn't know it was until it was too late. And that was just one of the risks. My husband's like, I thought it the whole time I was sitting there. I was like, this is not a good idea. But like, here's the thing. And I had this thought too, because my husband and I were super, super cautious for a very, very long time. 2023 is really the time that we truly were like, we have to live life, because at this point, our mental health is taking a bigger toll than our physical health. So we need to go and live life. And we've started doing everything. Right. And so I looked at him, and even after the fact, when he's like, yeah, what are the odds that, COVID was going around that room? I'm like, I don't know. But like, what do we do from here on out? Not have choir concerts? I don't think that's the solution, or hockey games or theater shows or anything of that nature. I'm like, it's just part of oh, I don't know what just happened. I clicked a button on my keyboard. It's just part of the risk, like going out and catching a cold, going out and catching the flu, going out and catching whatever other sickness has been around forever. Because the reality is COVID's not going away. So, and the good news is everyone is telling us about their symptoms, and it's all really, really mild. It's all my, one of the women is still, she's like, I've been banished to the basement, so I'm decorating for Christmas down here because I'm stuck down here anyway. So everyone is feeling pretty okay, which is great. We just happen to have the thing light up on the test. So it's one of those things that, like, it's hard because and like, you have to make the decisions right for you, but we've decided we have to live life. We have to live life. We can't not live life for the fear of this anymore. We went through that for about 2 years and it did nothing for our mental health. You can put on 5 pounds of muscle just for going a walk, and seeing the scale go up 5 pounds will do it. Yeah, you can't put on really any muscle from going for walks. I was thinking about doing that with my old Fitbit and trading in my Apple Watch, but also oh yeah, you could do that too. You could do that too. Lift a marathon or QB 100 miles. Yeah, you could do that. Those are great ideas. Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Lori. If I got it right before, I would still have been in the height of it churning and working, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Which is why I wasn't too concerned about getting it right before the concert. Got it. Yes. It's part of the joy of living in the Midwest, y'all. It's honestly, the reputation that we have is real. It's real. And all over the Midwest, it's pretty common. But in Minnesota, in Minnesota, people are nice here and considerate and courteous and welcoming and accepting and amazing. Truly. Good to be positive. Who'd have thought positive was bad? Right? I know you can't gain muscles, but I've spent years hearing about how that's how you did it. I would love to go to a Bruins game, but I'm nervous of getting. Yep. When Ralph and I got to see, it was mild. Yeah. That's how we caught it the first time, was going to a Panthers game. That is absolutely, I am 99.98% sure that that's how we caught it. We went to a Panthers game, the first Panthers game, and I literally said it. I have magical powers. I need to be very careful about what I say because I'm learning I can speak things into existence. And I would love to say that I'm kidding, but I'm not. I can speak. And of course, it's not things like, hey, let me make $1 million appear in my bank account. Can't make that happen. But random stuff that I can do is walk into a hockey game and go, okay, this is where we contract COVID, and then contract COVID. One day at church, I think I told you guys about this, ran into a friend and immediately knew that friend was pregnant. She hadn't told us. They told us later that day, but she hadn't told us. And I knew, I just sensed it the second I saw her. I was like, she's pregnant. And boom, there it was. And so that's more intuition than speaking it into existence. But then I couldn't believe this one. So a little bit of backstory. There's a musical on Broadway right now called Gutenberg the Musical or something like that. And it is a 2-person show. And then there is a 2-second, 15-second cameo done by the producer. And they come on the stage, say one line, and then go off the stage. And the kick is the actors don't know who that person is going to be. And it's a different person every night. That's what you need to know for this. I was talking to my friend, and she was telling me about her trip to New York City and telling me about Gutenberg and who their person was. And it was Sarah Bareilles the night that she went, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And the two people that are in the show are Josh Gad and Andrew Reynolds. You all know Josh Gad as the voice of Olaf from Frozen, right? And so I looked at her and I said, you know what would be really funny is if they got Kristen Bell to do it. That would just be how shocking and how fun would that be to reunite them for 15 seconds without him expecting it? What a cool thing. No joke. The next day, Monday, I said this to her on Sunday, Monday, Kristen Bell posts pictures of her as the producer role saying, I had such a great time tonight. The day after I said it. And it's not like I read about it anywhere. Nobody knows who's coming in. I literally said it and it happened. And I'm like, what sort of bizarre power do I have to make these things happen? I don't even know. It's the most bizarre manifestation power in the world. Can I apply it to my own life? Apparently not. Or to good things, poof, make make all of the things that I want to have happen? No, but I can make Kristen Bell appear on a Broadway stage for 15 seconds. What kind of bizarre power is this? And how can I get it upgraded? Tell you what, man. I tell you what, it was so crazy. If people are sick, in my opinion, stay home. Oh yeah, 100%. And we had people that did. We had more people performing in the beginning of the concert than by the third concert because people were getting sick and couldn't perform anymore. But also you have to remember, as a vocalist, and I know you sing, like when you have a little bit of a cough or a little bit of a scratchy throat, it could be from the fact that you're singing all week. Because I had a tired throat and scratchy throat after every rehearsal because I sang for 2 hours, like nonstop, and I'm out of practice. So it's one of those things. Like, how do you know, you know? Da, 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 da. I spent months working in daycare centers and a bakery. Nothing happened. Started working for a private family. We're working from home in COVID. Yep. You just don't know. You just don't know. I had the same kind of intuition. I dismissed it. Oh yeah, it's the weirdest thing, right? It's not the first time I've done it either. I've identified, I think, 3 people as pregnant before they've told me. And it's so weird. It's so weird. MS and COVID. No, I mean MS and CMT, or COVID and CMT don't necessarily go together either. But I did survive. And I had my personal experience was I had a mild cold. The only thing that was weird about my COVID experience was it wiped out my appetite, so I underate for about 4 days. And like it took a while for my appetite to come back fully, and I ended up with like long COVID fatigue, but that has since gone away. Yeah, fair enough. Never had sick time. I also know why people would work when sick. Yep. I get that. So, anyway, friends, what do we want to chit chat about this afternoon? Now that I've gone on about my low and all of the things, let's see. What were my birthday festivities? Wait, I got a banner for this. Ask me anything, y'all. Ask me anything. And while you ask me questions, keep them fun, keep them interesting or educational. It's actually fine. Ask me whatever you want. Oh my goodness, there are people climbing up a hill with their arms full of plastic bags. See, if it were me, it's not a big hill, but it's still some work. One of the individuals up here is older than I am. Why would you not take the easy path? It's a couple more steps, but it's not a big hill. That's always fascinated me. Like, why work smarter, not harder? So I guess your definition of smarter, not harder has to be shorter distance or less hill. And I guess you have to pick your poison. Anyway. Right? Oh boy, do I feel this. Oh boy, do I feel this, because my husband is the same way. If I tell him, he took a COVID test yesterday, because once I told him that I had been exposed to COVID, he was convinced that he probably had COVID too, which, let's be honest, could possibly and probably be true. But he's the one that you like, I don't, if like my sister was sick or something, or I won't tell him until it becomes necessary because he'll get in his head about it. You know what I mean? And but I'm in my head today. I had one of my community members message me and be like, "Tell yourself it's allergies. Stop overthinking it. You don't know until you got a positive test, so just tell yourself it's allergies." And here's the thing, it very possibly could be. I have this problem where I play the game of, is it insert normal thing that I have regular experience with, or is it COVID? Because they're the same. They're the freaking same. Is it fatigue or is it COVID fatigue? Do my muscles ache because I didn't stretch today, because it's a bad CMT day, because I'm not moving more enough, because I moved too much, or is it COVID? Are my sinuses a little bit stuffy because it's a Tuesday, or because it's COVID? Do I have a headache because hormones, regular headache, or is it literally every single symptom on the list is something that I experience on a regular basis without needing a diagnosis? Come on. Come on. You know what I mean? It's crazy. MRS, she gave me a blank look. Oh, MRSA. Um, I never had a positive rapid, just a PCR. All I know is my nanny family tested positive. I had mild symptoms and positive PCR, but was really sick like a month before. That's so bizarre. That's so bizarre. Might have been fine. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's entirely possible. Our psychology is weird, isn't it? We can make ourselves believe so much. So much. And honestly, truly believe it's true. Honestly, truly believe it's true. It is the darndest thing. So, now that we talked about the low of my birthday, let's talk about the high of my birthdays. My birthday highs. I got free Starbucks. Pro tip, y'all. Pro holiday Starbucks beverage tip. Ready? You've heard it here. So my holiday Starbucks beverage of choice is a peppermint mocha. I love them. They're delightful. And I'm distracted by is that a French bulldog? I don't even know. It's like short and stumpy. I don't know. Easily distractible today. Squirrel. um, a couple years ago, and for many years previously, they had a skinny peppermint mocha. And the thing that was nice about it is it was sugar-free syrup. Now, depending on your feelings for artificial sweeteners over sugar, take it or leave it. But the reality is, this beverage, this grande beverage, has, I think, 52 grams of sugar in it. I am not anti-sugar, but I am very much anti-pumping sugar into my body necessarily when I can find a better alternative option. So like cake, definitely give me the sugar. Give me the frosting, give me the sugar, give it to me. A coffee beverage? No. No. There has to be some healing properties in order for me to want to put that much sugar in my body in a beverage. So they used to have a skinny version that had like skinny mocha sauce and skinny peppermint. And I would even do half and half sometimes, just lessen the sugar a little bit, right? A little bit won't hurt you. So I was talking to the lady and I was like, okay. And I looked beforehand. How do you construct a grande peppermint mocha? It is 4 pumps each of mocha sauce and peppermint syrup. So I walked up to the lovely lady at the counter and I was like, can I get a peppermint mocha, no whipped cream, non-fat, because it's my preference. I always do non-fat because it's my preference. I don't like it to get too creamy. Can I do half of the syrups? So like instead of 4 pumps of each one, can I get 2 pumps of each one? And she goes, yeah, absolutely. And because it was my birthday, she threw in an extra espresso shot too. I was like, oh, so you want me to be wired today. Thank you. Y'all, it tasted fine. You do not miss the 4 pumps of flavoring. You don't. So if you like a peppermint mocha, but you want to lighten it up and you don't want to just completely thwop your system with a whole bunch of sugar, do non-fat, no whip. Because in my opinion, you could think I'm wrong. In my opinion, you don't need the whipped cream and stuff on your lattes. You just don't. But again, I don't like whipped cream. So if I don't like whipped cream. But I did the half and it tasted, it was delicious. It was a thoroughly enjoyable coffee beverage. The chocolate was there. The peppermint was there. Joy was had by all. And it was half the sugar. It was half the sugar. So don't be afraid to get things a little bit customized and know that the syrups can be decreased and it will still taste fine, maybe if not better. But I also don't like sweetened beverages. Yeah, see? Why would the recipe, in my opinion, it would be a lot more resourceful. Okay. I'm thinking economically now. Why would, if they could get the same effect using 2 pumps or even 3 pumps instead of 4, if they only used 3 pumps instead of 4 in every peppermint mocha they made around the world, do you know how much money they'd save? I mean, I don't know the actual number, but like that's a lot of syrup, right? That's a lot of syrup that they wouldn't have to do. And it would be less sugar for the people that are eating it. Like, you don't need that much. You don't. I'm sure if I get into it, I can give myself symptoms based on my exposure to you via the internet, right? Right? Ha! Here you go, friends. Oh yeah, Googling a symptom for everybody is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. A squirrel. Yep. That was me with the dog. Absolutely. I realized instead of ordering the gingerbread latte or other fancy drink, I can get a regular coffee with half and half and a couple pumps of syrup. Yeah. Yeah. If you take the time to like think about Starbucks, you can create whatever you want and they'll make it for you. It's fine. I sometimes would get before I really just like stopped loving sweetened coffees, I would get um a iced coffee with like half. I'm like, just put a squirt of vanilla. Just a little bit, the littlest bit, just to give it a little something something. I like whipped in my fraps where I can eat it separately, but in a hot drink it just melts in. Right. And so then it's just more creamy. And I don't need any extra creamy in my coffee. I get irritated when they put too much half and half in my plain coffee. I asked to have if they have half or full pumps so I know how many pumps to ask for. Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. Good tip. Good tip. Your new coffee? Which one's your new coffee? Also, the first time for my first mention of the annual PSA. Peppermint mocha is not Lissa loves to remind us of this every year. Peppermint mocha is not special. You can get it any time of the year. Yes, in theory, as long as they still have the peppermint syrup, you can order peppermint mocha on a random Tuesday in July. You can do it. I personally don't because I like this special feeling of doing things seasonally. So like for example, I'm done with pumpkin. Unless something like pumpkin pie shows up at the Thanksgiving table or whatever, sure. But like I've already transitioned into gingerbread and peppermint mocha mode for the holiday season. And so I'm leaning into the Christmas deliciousness now as well. Um oh, the blackout coffee. Nice. I've never been a coffee drinker, so this is like listening to it for I'm like, oh, coffee. As if you needed another clue, the coffee's my jam. Like, come on. But it has to be good coffee. It took all of the self-control to not bring home. Because I went to Starbucks, there was a bag of Christmas blend in there, and I was like, you don't need it until you get to Florida. You don't need it until you get to Florida. I love me the Christmas blend. I love it. I love it. I love it. Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh. So on the Florida Panthers hockey, talking about hockey, y'all. The Florida Panthers Instagram, they decided to ask the players what their favorite coffee order was. And a lot of them said black coffee. But one of them said Nitro cold brew with an extra shot of espresso. And just like the words Nitro plus espresso made me go, whoa, caffeine. I don't know if Nitro has more caffeine in it than the regular stuff, but it just sounded like hardcore coffee. You know, it sounded like it. People get so overhyped about it being a seasonal drink, but you can get it whenever you want. So you don't need to just overdo it in November and December. Right. Yeah. And so for me personally, I don't overdo it. I only get like I had one, I might get one more. Like that's it. I have learned that like truly I would rather have like I get more out of putting my nut pods into my regular black coffee and just having the essence of the flavor than like I didn't even get a PSL this year, y'all. I didn't have a pumpkin spice latte once, and they are gone. And I don't care. Like, that's the kicker. I don't even care. I had the apple crisp iced oat milk latte thing, and it was delicious. It was wonderful. Might get it again if we go to Starbucks in Florida because it'll be acceptable to have iced beverages down there. Um, but like it was just such a bizarre, like, I didn't even want it this year. I didn't even care. But I loved my moment with my pumpkin spice nut pods and my pumpkin cake, pumpkin spice cake Nespresso pod. And that was enough pumpkin spice. It gave me the essence without all of the creamy and all of the sugar. As I talked about, I think I talked about this last week, the Chobani creamer, I'm over it because I'm tired of the sweetness in my coffee every day. I just want the flavor and not the sugar. If I want to brew, I'll wait till I get home. Yep. Nitro plus espresso is heaven. Oh, no kidding. You order that too? With 1 pump of brown sugar, cinnamon, and a splash of oat milk. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So that's a second vote for the Nitro plus espresso. No kidding. I love it. I love it. Brewed cacao, 28 ounces of coffee. a few pumps of syrup, and half and half. Nice. So that really is like a nice chocolatey beverage. I don't know how else to explain it, but like that sounds good. It does. Toffee, salted caramel, and toasted marshmallow syrups. Ooh, ooh. That sounds cozy. Like that screams like campfire to me. I love it. I love it. That sounds delicious. I want to be. I have aspirations of this like coffee bar in my future home, or maybe here, even though it'll look kind of stupid. We've talked about getting a little area for like a coffee bar beverage station type of thing. um but I have aspirations to have like the pretty coffee bar, and it has the Nespresso and the coffee maker, and then it has a couple of like the syrups so you can make whatever the heck you want. And like I want to be that person, but I know that the last 2 or 3 times I have gotten syrups for my coffee, I have thrown them away because they were expired and have barely touched them. Barely touched them because I put them in my coffee and then I go, "Oh, my coffee is gross," and then I get rid of it. So it's like my aspirations for the ideal, perfect little beverage coffee bar um, in my dream home like doesn't make sense for me. My ideal coffee bar is going to be a nice drawer full of Nespresso pods. Michelle, hello, Michelle. We got to get you subscribed to my Google Calendar. Do you use Google Calendars? We need to get you subscribed to that because yes, you did. I mentioned it at the healthy meeting, but you weren't there. And I also mentioned it on Instagram. And if you didn't see it on Instagram, then you didn't know. So the easiest way to stay in tune with me is my Google Calendar. How do I find my Google Calendar? Let's see. Let me see if I can do this for y'all right here, right now. Settings and sharing. Share. Learn more about sharing your calendar. Shareable link. Here we go, friends. Here we go. I found it. If you use, oh, Lissa says she's on it too. We'll post it twice. There you go. That link will get you subscribed to my Google Calendar. And that is the Public Diva and the Divine Google Calendar. What it will give you is it'll tell you when my live streams are. So it'll say this one's either at 3:00 or it's at 7:00. And you'll also see my Patreon meetings on there for Patreon members only. And any other event or thing that I need my community to know about will get thrown on that calendar. So put it in a nice Diva and the Divine colored purple, and then anytime it pops up on your Google Cal, you'll know that it's me. If I woke up tomorrow and coffee shops didn't exist, I would be fine. I would be fine. Because every morning I make myself one Nespresso pod, and then my husband and I have like a $40 drip coffee maker. The essential rule for a coffee maker is it has to have a bold brew option because we use the bold brew, and it has to have a timer on it so I can set it up the night before. So if coffee shops didn't exist, the only thing that would be severely impacted is our road trips, because if Starbucks ceased to exist on our road trips, we would be very, very sad individuals, because that is where we go for our breakfast in the morning. We get egg bites and I get an egg sandwich thing, and we get our coffee for the day from Starbucks. So road trips would be a little bit more complicated, but the day-to-day would be fine because I rarely. When did I go out last? It was in October. Did I go out and have that croissant and that nice fall latte thing? Might have been September or October. And no, I think it was October. I went to that coffee shop. And so it's been like a month since I've been to a coffee shop, and I finally decided to go to a Starbucks. I don't go to, yeah, we see them, Donna. I don't go to all of, or now I'm distracted because I shared your last one. Oh, you think you guys are coffee obsessed? Yeah, we are. We talk about coffee on here frequently. Frequently. All right, I want to know the ranking, y'all. What are like our top 5 topics that we talk about that is not health and wellness oriented? Number 1 is absolutely Harry Potter, 110%. But the other thing that we get into all the time is coffee. And when we get started, we just don't stop because coffee is life. Coffee is life, y'all. Oh, I love that. I love you in your social life, Michelle. That's lovely. Um, then that's fine. I remembered after the healthy meeting. Yep, yep. Um, I do need one with a bold brew option because that's better. Oh yeah, I would imagine that. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, love the bold brew. Love the, but I remember when like I had a Keurig for years and years, and I just thought it was the coolest thing to have my Keurig. And then I don't know what happened, but at some point I decided that the Keurig just wasn't cutting it anymore. The Keurig wasn't cutting it anymore, and it made a crummy cup of coffee. No offense to my friends who have a Keurig. Now, my grandparents have a Keurig, but they have one that has a bold button, or I guess it's a strong button. So they get dark roast pods, and then you hit the strong button, and it actually brews a decent cup of coffee. But back in the day, 2016, 2017, they didn't have a cool bold brew option, or at least mine didn't. So all of a sudden, like I just decided that it made the coffee was too watery. I could not tell you when or how the switch flipped from me needing coffee that was just flavored and sweetened and all of that to me needing coffee that would send caffeine searing through your veins, and anything weaker was unacceptable. Like, when did I turn into the bold roast girl? I don't know. I don't know. But I did. And so we had the Keurig for when I wanted to do special things until it broke down, as Keurigs inevitably do. But then I decided, I was like, I'm gonna go and buy like a $30 coffee maker or whatever it was. I bought one from Target and made a pot of coffee that next morning for my husband and I. And I was like, this is great. Why haven't we been doing this the whole time? That's true. That's true. Your experiment that Ganya made with Via was very entertaining. Oh gosh, I forgot I did that. I completely forgot about that video. That's a video on YouTube, right? Oh, yeah, and then I was, like, way over caffeinated, wasn't I? I remember that vaguely. I vaguely remember that when that was a thing. Yes. Oh my goodness. You're right. I could bring Via with me in case of emergencies. I was live. Oh, I was live when I was wired. I just made it and didn't share it, and then I was just wired later that night. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. 5-cup drip coffee maker that's programmable and has a bold, strong button. I don't need a big one. Yep. I mean, maybe it exists. I don't know. So there's a school bus. The school bus here that drives by every day for whatever reason, and I don't know what the reason is. If you know, tell me. It's a yellow school bus, but it has a white top. The roof of the school bus is white. And so every day when it drives by, I am convinced the thing is covered in snow. And then I go, where did the snow come from? Every single day that I'm up here when that thing drives by. Every day. Um, Champy's very vocal. He doesn't like coffee either. Such a little grumpy boy. He's so funny. He's such a funny kitty. Let's see. What else? I got into this in my healthy meeting today. I'm not going to get fully into it until I have completed the book. But shocker of all shockers, I'm reading another book because that's what I do, evidently. I buy myself a whole bunch of books and then just devour all of this new information. And then I'm like, oh, got to do all the things. Why am I a chronic information absorber? I don't know. I don't know what this personality trait is in me, but it's what I have. And it's funny because one of the things I put on my Christmas list was like, well, I'm reading a lot of books on like Kindle Unlimited and things like that. And so I got Amazon gift cards from both of my both of my mothers for my birthday yesterday. And I was like, I can read all of the books. I was so excited because that's where I get all my book reading from, and that's where Kindle Unlimited is and all of the things. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Oh, awesome. Does it do anything for the school bus in the winter when it's freaking freezing in Minnesota? But that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, anyway, I'm reading this book called Outlive by Peter Attia, Attia. Attia? Attia? Not sure. And it's fascinating. It is fascinating. Here's the clip notes. I'm not done yet. I'm not done. But it talks about the 4 horsemen of aging, which are diabetes, cancer, neurodegenerative disorders, and heart failure. And the whole premise of the book is figuring out the ways to thwart those four enemies. Because, and I love he uses the terms medicine 2.0, which is the type of medicine that we're in now in our society. Like, it's been leveled up from its original, right? But medicine 2.0 only starts to care about those conditions when you've already gotten them. And how medicine 3.0, the next generation, needs to put more emphasis on preventing those diseases before they even start. And so this book is about how we can kind of give ourselves the best chance to do that and the actual science behind it. It's always reassuring to me when I'm reading information about medical or macros, because there's talk about macros and calories and all the things in this book. And when the information is that you're getting is information that you know to be true, like factual information, like, oh yeah, that's exactly what that means. That's exactly what that means. That it's very reassuring when you know that the medical information in there is solid and the citations are solid and the all of it. It's awesome. Um, so the things that are in there that I'm learning about, and this is not a weight loss book. This is not a weight loss book. Although I have one goal goal. Like, I think it's going to be a goal, but also like the intuitive eater in me is finding a hard time marrying this goal with the rest of my goals to be a good idea, if that verbiage made any sense. But in the metabolic issues section, like there were five different like telltale signs that you're having metabolic issues that could result in things later on down the road, including things like diabetes. And many people have more than one of these red flags. I only have one of them. I only have one of them, and that is my waist circumference, the amount of visceral fat I have on my body. And so I'm sitting there going, is it reasonable? Is it reasonable for me to kind of like have as the health goal to be to decrease my waist circumference just to the point of it being within that range where you're no longer considered to be at risk for diabetes? Does that make sense? And so I've been hemming and hawing about it. I'm like, do I make that a goal? How, and more importantly, how do I do that while intuitively eating? And I'm like, oh, this could pose to be an interesting challenge. Now, what's interesting is obviously change is already happening. I'm fitting into clothes just fine. I even busted out some old clothes that I thought for sure were not going to fit me. I went downstairs and rummaged through our Christmas bins, which we haven't seen the contents of since Christmas 2019. And I was like, I want to wear my shirts. I want to bring my shirts to Florida so I can wear them all holiday season long. Problem is, they are from a much smaller Brianna season. And I was like, I'm going to just try them on anyway. And there was only one that was too tight for me to justify being able to wear. And it makes sense because it's the one that fit me most appropriately back in 2013. So or 2014. So I'm like, that's fine, whatever. But the rest of them fit. So my point in saying that is my body is clearly already doing a little something, something, which is good. So do I set that as a goal? Because I want to get out of the marker zone. I want to get out of that medical zone, because I've heard that multiple times for like risk factors for metabolic disease, risk factors for diabetes, and like one was like an A1C level of X, Y, and Z, your blood pressure, and then I can't remember the two others, and then it was your waist circumference was the other thing. And I was just like, if I could just knock out that one thing, I would be 0 out of 5 for all of these risk factors. And in a family where diabetes runs rampant, because my mom, my dad, my grandpa, my youngest sister, all, and I think my aunt too, all have it. Like, it is shocking that I have not gotten diabetes. And it's more shocking how well I actually process carbohydrates based on my testing my blood sugar and seeing my numbers not go too high and things of that nature. It's crazy. But I'm like, it'd be really nice knocking out that 5th risk factor, because I do have that risk factor. Like, and studies have shown that that is in fact a risk factor. So how do I marry those two, you guys? How do I do that? Um, do, do, do. Because of the way I carry my body weight, I feel like I couldn't make that goal without restriction. I'm having the opposite issue with my clothes. Clothes that fit are too snug today. Well, that could just be like, where are you in your cycle? Because there are days I'm like, oh, these pants fit 2 days ago. Why don't they fit now? And boom, it's because I'm bloated. Dieting is inherently, at the very least, a bit of restriction. So it depends on your definition of the word. Dieting, as we know it, yes, because dieting is restricting. But if you look up the word diet, the definition is there's two now. They added one. The first definition of diet is the kind of foods that a person, animal, or community habitually eats, which means that I'm on a diet every day. The fact that I try to eat protein and try to eat vegetables and have cake in my like the foods that I eat is my diet by definition. But now, this just in, ladies and gentlemen, there's a number 2. A special course of food to which one restricts oneself either to lose weight or for medical reasons. So now, and then that's as a noun, and then as a verb, to diet, restrict oneself to small amounts or special kinds of food in order to lose weight. Yes. Which is why I'm sitting there going, how do I succeed at this goal while intuitively eating? Interesting. Now, this book is also, spoiler alert, the key to longevity is exercise, according to this guy, and like weight training and cardio. And I'll get into the details once I finish this section because I just started the exercise section. But I'm like, well, if I'm so moved, because it's encouraging me to be like, actually, you got to get back on your strength training game. You got to get back on your strength training game. You are now officially pushing 40. You have got to get on your strength training game. That could fix the problem without me having to do anything outside of intuitively eating, which is good. But like, it's just such a bizarre thing to be like, but what if I would like, not at all for vanity reasons. Literally, I'm like, I just want to eliminate this risk factor. And I'm like, but what do I do to do that? Stopped at Trader Joe's after lunch, saw the Kringles. I was sure it wouldn't be kosher, but it is. They are. I bought it, cut it up into 16 pieces to store. Had one. Did you have? It's the almond one now, right, Michelle? Oh my gosh, the almond Kringle is so good. Oh, I'm so glad they're kosher and you can have them. That's so exciting. Definitely feel tempted to go back into tracking restricting when I put on something that fit a week ago, but that's not today. Just look at where you are in your cycle, man. I feel like I've been gaining weight, but it could be in my head. I don't actually know because I haven't weighed myself. I've been taking a break. Yes. So you have to take into consideration all of the factors, right? You have to take into consideration all the factors. Where are you in your cycle? If you are anytime around ovulation or a week out from your period, it could just be bloat. And wait until your period's over, give it a couple days, and then the pants should probably fit again. That just, or whatever it is. You didn't actually say pants, but and the cycle stuff, like it's real. It's very real. In regards to calorie restriction, I'm 95% sure the scale has been going up. Has it been going up? And like it's a whole, like, you're intuitively eating now. So is that okay? Is like, you have to decide what is the right move for you, you know? The almond. I love almond fillings. Oh, then you'll love that. The pleasant surprise we got in the birthday cake that I purchased, because I just pulled one out of the case at the grocery store. It's almond flavored cake. So there's the buttercream frosting, and then there's a nice little air of almond. It's fabulous. It's so fabulous. So yeah, and then I don't know what to tell you because it depends on your goal. It depends on your goal. As per usual with intuitive eating, weight gain is normal, right? Weight gain is normal. And that's okay, depending on what journey it is you need to be on right now. but clearly not enough to do anything about it. Right, right. So it's what problem are you solving? And if it's your relationship with food and dieting, then you just keep on keeping on and buy some clothes that fit. That's what you got to do. But also you have to check yourself. And I know that you talk about how you struggle with the whole like hunger and fullness signals, and that's the stuff that you really want to try and tune into, right? Because that's what's, and here's a great example. I told people in healthy meeting earlier, I got a poke bowl for my birthday dinner last night, and the last time I had this exact same order that I had the last time I went to this place, and I devoured it the last time. I ate the entire thing and it was so good. I only ate about a third to a half, somewhere in between there, of the thing last night, because I genuinely was like, I don't want it anymore. Just not feeling it. There was too much spicy mayo and like creamy things on it, and I was just not feeling the texture. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So today, though, I was like, not hungry, not into it. It's fine. After my meeting today, I'm like, ooh, I need lunch. I'm really hungry. And I actually went and I added extra rice. I had a 90-second microwave rice pack, and I put probably half of the entire package into this bowl to mitigate some of the creaminess in it. Mix it all up. Ate the whole bowl for lunch, y'all. The entire bowl. Gone. Because I was hungry. And so again, it's a reminder that your body will tell you if you listen. And it's a lot harder for overthinkers. But I do urge you to, again, sit. Have you fallen into distracted eating habits again? Also, remember, you went and you had a big meal yesterday, right? You admitted that you ate until you were a little bit over full, right? So that could have something to do with it too. How's your digestion? How's your hydration? How's your movement? Now that could be another thing there, Alyssa. You have both increased your eating at the same time you decreased your activity. Therefore, it stands to reason you might be in a calorie surplus right now. So you just gotta sit, and like I said earlier in today's meeting, you gotta get curious about why these things are happening, why these changes are changing, and if it's something that you are okay with or not. And if you are not, you got to go back and troubleshoot, because the answer is not throw in the towel with intuitive eating. But what do you need to change? Is it honoring your body by listening to your hunger more, or listening to your satisfaction? Meaning you're not waiting until you're full, you're waiting until you're no longer hungry, because there's a difference in that range. Or is it sucking it up and making sure you get a half an hour walk in or a mile walk in every single day? Or the list goes on and on and on and on and on, right? The list goes on and on. Trying to eat and move without relying on a nap is hard. Yeah, 100%, especially since you're used to something telling you what to do. So my encouragement would be get moving a little bit more. Get moving and see what happens. See if things start to even out a little bit. So, all right, friends, 4:00. 4:00. Okay, friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate every one of you who took the time to come and spend the afternoon with me instead of the evening. As I said, in the chat is the link to the Google Calendar. Make sure you check that out if you want to make sure that you stay up to date with all of the latest and greatest, because it'll give you notifications if I change anything too, if you set that up to have notifications. Take care. Be well. I'll keep you all updated on what's happening on this end over on Instagram. And I will see you all next week. Stay tuned. Actually, stay tuned. There is a small chance that you will not see me next week, because we just found out that my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and the 4 boys are going to be in for Thanksgiving. So I might not be doing live stream next week. So pay attention to the calendar, pay attention to Instagram. I will let y'all know for sure. Okay? Take care, guys. Bye.